Chapter 7, Lesson 7, Writing Exponential Functions. So yesterday when we put the stat into our calculator and we looked down under stat calculate and we found exponential, it gives us y equals a times b to the x power. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be figuring out those a and b terms on our own. So a is going to stand for our initial amount given, and b is going to be our rate. Now the rate is going to be given as a percent, and we cannot put percents into our calculators, so we're going to have to turn that into a decimal. Yesterday, we also talked about exponential growth and exponential decay. And so when we're given our rate, we're going to have to figure out if it's growth or decay. And if it's a growth, we're going to do 100% plus our rate given, and then turn it into a decimal. And if it's decay, we're going to do 100% minus the percent given, and we're going to, again, turn it into a decimal. And for the x power, it's going to be our time, and we have to make sure that we're giving that time in years. So if we were given 3 months, we would have to take 3 divided by 12 to figure out how much of a year that is. The second formula that we're going to use today is called compound interest. So compound interest happens when the bank takes a percentage of your money, and every time you make a withdrawal or a deposit, your bank is going to be taking a percent interest off of that. So what we're going to have for that is A equals, and A is our amount, our dollar amount. P is our principal, which is our initial dollars. R is our rate as a decimal. And this time, since we're not doing exponential, since we're just doing interest, we don't have to add or subtract 100. But we still have to turn it into a decimal. N is the number of times compounded per year. And we have a couple pretty common ones we're going to do. If the problem says we're doing this annually, that's 1 time every year. Semi-annually is 2 times per year. Quarterly is 4 times per year. Monthly, 12. Weekly, 52. And daily, 365. And T, time, again, will be in years. So we're starting here. Sports radio stations numbered 413 in the year 2002. The number of sports radio stations has increased by approximately 6.7% per year. So since we're knowing that this is increasing, we know that this is going to be exponential growth. So my formula says to take A as the initial amount, which is 413 initial sports stations. Times it by my rate, and since we determined this was growth, we're going to do 100 plus 6.7, which is 106.7%. Change that to a decimal, it would become 1.067. And then it says, and put it to T years, so we don't know the number of years yet. If the trend continues, predict the number of sports radio stations in the year 2025. So if we began in 2002, and now it's the year 2025, we're going to put in a change of 23 years. So we're going to put it to the 23rd power. So we have 413. 1.067 to the 23rd is 1,835 stations. The Greens bought a condominium for $110,000. That's my initial value. And we're going to appreciate, which means increasing, 6% per year. So we're going to do 100 plus 6 is 106. As a decimal, 1.06. They originally bought it in 2010 and they want to know the value in 2015, which means that 5 years have passed. That would give me a total of $147,204.81. During the 1990s, the forested area of Guatemala decreased. So that tells me you're doing exponential decay, an average rate of 1.07%. The forested area in Guatemala was 34,000 initially. We're doing 100 minus 1.7%, 98.3. As a decimal, 0.983. And for this first part, they say to the T years. Now for part B, they're telling us that if it started in 1990 and it's now the year 2035, 45 years have passed. So we're doing 3,400. I forgot a 4. 34,400 times 0.983 to the 45 years. Leaves me with 15,902 square kilometers. So now we're working on investments, which tells us we're working on compounded interest. So $500 is my invested money, so that's my principal. 4.25% is my rate, and this one we don't have to add or subtract 100, so we just change it into 0.0425. And compounded quarterly tells me that my N is going to be 4. 12 years tells me that T is 12. So according to the formula, I do P parenthesis 1 plus my rate, which is 0.0425, divided by N to the N times T. And it's important for you, people who have the TI 83 calculators, to put your 4 times 12 in parentheses. And I got $830.40. This one I'm investing $300, which is my principal. 0.0675 is my rate. Semi-annually means 2. 20 years is my time. So 300 parenthesis 1 plus 0.0675 divided by 2 to the 2 times 20. 1131.72.